2024-25 Wren-Nephew Jamaica Premier League title is now down to the final four, with the semi-final ties beginning tonight at the Montego Bay Sports Complex at Catherine Hall in St. James. Well, Lance and Mariah, we are very much here, and yes, it's semi-final time. The first one will be Arnett Gardens, the champions to be, versus Cavalier, the defending champions.
Oh, the champions to be.
What a thing.
I think you're depending on Cavalier's weary legs.
Well, it's part of
depending on
competition, you know.
anything.
It's part of the reason that you finish top two in the regular season, so you don't have to play a quarterfinal tie, and so you are fresh for the semi-final. But of course, we've seen in the past as well where teams who don't play in the quarterfinal round say they're a little bit rusty by the time they get to the semi-finals. I think the last time Arnett Gardens won, they had finished the regular season in 6th position.
That's right,
And
2017.
2017, and they've had a few seasons where they've finished either top or in the top two and not gone on to win, in fact. Not even make it to the final of the competition. Hopefully this is not one of those years. But yes, that's going to be a terrific match, I think, just because Cavalier have gotten the better of Arnett Gardens this season every time they've met. Plus, when you think about just Cavalier's willingness to fight, their dogged nature, they're very difficult to beat. They certainly have championship mettle, and we've seen that time and again in recent seasons, and that could be a good first one. And then Montego Bay United versus Mount Pleasant is going to be the featured game tonight, especially because they're in Montego Bay, they're in the West.
Yeah, so I have to agree with you there, you know, two quality teams. I saw some footage on the SportsMax Instagram page. Of course, our team is there. I saw footage of Donald, I saw Leger.
What were they doing?
They were shaking the hands of PFJL CEO Owen Hill. So he had just arrived. This is what I saw on the Instagram, right? So he had just arrived.
Is that what they are paid to do?
They're getting ready. They're probably finding...
Shake the hands of CEOs.
Come on, Ricardo, don't be so hard on them. They were just finding out information. You just saw him walk in, you know, hail, whatever y'all do here, and you get ready for the broadcast. And I do know they're going to send us a comprehensive preview very, very soon as well. So yes, that's what they're getting paid to do.
That's not how I get ready for broadcast. I'm not walking around shaking the hands of CEOs. Are you, Lance? Is that how you get ready for broadcast?
Well,
Not typically, no.
But do you know it's part of preparation, right? Because one of the things I do is, you know, a lot of my contacts actually help me in preparation. So a simple shake of a hand can actually give them information that we're probably not privy to. So I'm just,
I don't know if, I don't think that would work for me. Anyhow.
But it works for me. I just want to tell you all that. So we're going to toss to this broadcast, right? Or you want to toss for it? You go ahead.
No, I'm saying the Jay Williams and Dwight Jeremiah are ready. So let's go to them.
Jamaica Premier League playoffs, and if you haven't noticed, we're in a new venue, we're in a new space. We've traveled over 100 miles. We're here at the Catherine Hall Sports Complex, the Montego Bay Sports Complex, if you may. And we're in tune for a couple of brilliant games, a great doubleheader here to kick off the semi-finals. And when you speak about the games that we have in store, it's going to be Cavalier taking on Arnett Gardens. That's a big one. Don't you worry, that's a big one. That one will be taking place on SportsMax and SportsMax Plus at 6 Jamaica time, 7 ECT. But if you thought that game was big, we have another one that many people might say, especially here in Montego Bay, is even bigger. Montego Bay United taking on Mount Pleasant. That one will be taking place at 8:30 Jamaica time, 9:30 in the Eastern Caribbean. Now, how did these teams get here? Arnett Gardens and Mount Pleasant, they would have topped the regular season table, but Cavalier, they had to do it the hard way, going extra time with Portmore United to book their spot to take on this Arnett Gardens team. And when it comes on to Montego Bay United, they had a difficult time as well with Tivoli, but for different reasons. But they endured. They knew that this was waiting for them, a chance to play in front of their home fans at their home stadium and impress, because that's what they've been doing for practically all of this season. And personally, I can't wait. We spoke to some coaches before. My good friend Dwight Jeremiah has joined me on this trip. This is his natural habitat, everyone. He spoke to the coaches of Cavalier, Rudolph Speed, and Arnett Gardens, Xavier Gilbert, to highlight what we'll see in this game.
I'm not totally pleased. By the end of the season, we would have played 57 games. That's the most game any team has ever, a Jamaican team has ever played in the history of football. So you know what we're up against. So we're in uncharted territory. But yeah, we tried our best to recover, eat right, try to rest as much as possible. But let's see what happens when we start to run.
It was important that we finished back end of the season on a high. I'm happy that we did. And it put us into second place on an automatic spot in the semifinals. We needed that little break. We still haven't have all our players recovered. But nevertheless, it is what it is, and we just have to go out and play.
I'm joined by Dwight Jeremiah. I said this was his natural habitat. It's actually pretty close. Dwight, you've traveled here. What do you make of these games, first of all, starting with Arnett versus Cavalier?
Well, Arnett versus Cavalier, you look at, if we just preview it in a way that what have gone on before in the season, I mean, 11 goals in 3 games. I mean, you're always going to get goals with these two teams. I'm not sure Cavalier, you know, as Rudolph Speeds just said, 57 games in a year. I mean, that's a lot of games for them to have played. Whether or not they can play with that high intensity and an open attacking game, I'm not quite sure, but the fans would want that. I mean, the neutrals would want that. I suspect it's going to be something like that. Whether or not, I don't think they're going to be able to sustain that throughout the 90 minutes like we've come to be used to with Cavalier, but I suspect it's going to be an open game. Arnett only knows to play one way, and that's open, attractive football.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. But there's a main event, of course. We're here in Montego Bay. There has to be a main event. It's Montego Bay United taking on the champions of the regular season, Mount Pleasant. I would ask you what you make of that game, but we all know how good that one is shaping up to be.
Definitely, and it's a battle for the West. I mean, both of them want to rule the roost here, and I'm pretty sure for everybody, it'd be hard to bet against Mount Pleasant, but you're playing here at Catherine Hall, and Montego Bay, they really don't lose games here. The one they lost here was to Harborview, and that was a controversial call by one Carvalho, a referee, assistant referee. They don't lose much here. They scored 36 goals here, concede just 11. It's not much that they give away here. It's tight for Mount Pleasant. But over the 2 legs, I give Mount Pleasant the edge.
Oh, that's a big call. That's a big call. I could not predict it. You heard me on the zone yesterday, I couldn't predict it. But Dwight Jeremiah is coming from a prediction guru spot. Maybe I'll have to tighten up and give a call sooner rather than later. But gents, ladies, we're looking forward to what's going to be a beautiful night of football. And right after the SportsMax Zone, you know where to tune in. It's going to be on SportsMax, SportsMax Plus. Join us for it.
Yeah, Leje Williams and Dwight Jeremiah there. You know, Lance and Mariah, I don't know if there is anybody else in the world who is as excited about anything as Leje Williams is about football.
I mean, that's a good thing, wouldn't you say? He loves what he does. He loves what he does, and he just... When I talk to him off air, of course, about some of the things he does to prepare and everything, he always says to me he's a nerd. And when he says that, he means like he gets excited for all the tactical aspects and the mathematical aspect of the sport. And I love that for him.
Yeah, I love it for him too. I just think he goes a little bit overboard when he starts talking about Arsenal. But once he's not talking about Arsenal,
top guy.
He's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I agree.
And to be quite honest, if you look at success stories globally in any field that you're talking about, passion is a common thread.
Yeah.
And if you have passion for something, chances are you'll be successful at it. So that's a good sign for young Williams.
It's really unfortunate that he's not able to watch this live, but I'm going to ensure that he tunes in so he can actually realize that he got a compliment from Ricardo, because it's sad that the promo for the show is Ricardo calling him an idiot.
Yeah, well, he's a smart idiot.
That was just fun. That was just
I know
fun.
it was fun, but I think he'd appreciate the compliment. So, yeah, I have to let him know that you complimented him.
All right, not a problem. Anyhow, by the way, interestingly, you know, Rudolph Speed, speaking about his team and the fact that they do have tired legs and they've tried to recover as best as is possible since their quarterfinal second leg. And then he says, until we start to run. And that piqued my interest because I'm thinking if there's one team that's going to force you to run, it's Arnett Gardens. Because of the brand of football they play, it's going to be a difficult 2 legs for Cavalier. I think it's important for them to start well, or at least be able to hold off Arnett Gardens as long as possible, because I just think if Arnett can score early, this tie could be over tonight. And that's not underestimating Cavalier, but the fact is they do have tired legs. They are missing some key players, and if Arnett can just open things up early, I think it could go downhill, but let's see.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing any downhill in this tie, Ricardo. I think
No.
it's going to be tight all the way, regardless of Cavaliers' tired legs. Their track record against Arnett Gardens has been very, very impressive. They have gone 7 games in a row undefeated against Arnett Gardens, and they have a formula,
Yes.
in my opinion, to stifle Arnett Gardens. And
there's something about matches like this
Yeah.
that, gets players turned on, gets them pumped, ready to go. And because of the rivalry, and I say that based on the results between the two teams, there is no way. I mean,
Cavalier will tell you there's no rivalry right now.
No, I'm speaking
at
about
7-0.
right. But because of let's say the history and the relationship between both teams, Cavalier is going to come out there as well, despite tired or not, and find that energy to ensure that they get themselves across the line.
Yeah, I don't doubt that they're going to fight. But if I were coaching the Arnett Gardens team, those first 30 minutes, I would be pushing even harder than usual. Because I know if you can score in those 30 minutes, if you can force Cavalier to chase the game with already tired legs, you have an advantage as the match goes on. So that's what I would be looking to do. But let's see. You are right. Cavalier is a champion team, and champion teams find a way regardless of the situation that they find themselves in. And that Montego Bay United Mount Pleasant clash, oh boy, it's gonna be great. It was great to hear Dwight Jeremiah call the match.
Yeah.
Saying Mount Pleasant.
Yeah.
Leger couldn't do that yesterday. Leger, you need to shape up. You're not doing well.
I've heard this from my uncle. He says you must shape up or ship out. I don't know what that meant, but no,
I'm
gonna
just
use
saying
it.
shape up. I'm not going to the ship out part.
I just remembered it when you say. But let's remind our viewers they can catch live coverage of both semi-final first leg matches, and it's on our SportsMax platforms with kickoff slated for 6 p.m. local time, 7 ECT. That's between Cavalier and Arnett Gardens, followed by Montego Bay United against Mount Pleasant at 8:30 Jamaica time, 9:30 in the rest of the Caribbean.